So I'm gonna add some people and then I'm gonna get started and talk about just my story. I have Genesis next to me, so she might interrupt a bit. Let me see. Okay. So hey. So basically I just wanted to talk about like my story and who hi Amanda. And how I've gotten as far as I have. I know that no, I know that a lot of people on my Facebook now remember me and the stuff that I used to post and just I remember getting messages from people telling me that like I had to keep pushing through it, that I had to keep going. My life was so rough, and looking back at it, I don't even know how I got through it. Um, I when I tell people my story, they are just shocked at how I'm still here. So I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I'm definitely going to share enough to where it gives um, people a good perspective and look into my life. Um, so my mom grew up, well, not grew up, but my mom was a single mom to me when she was just 19 years old. Um, I heard so many different things from either side of the family that I just decided to completely block it out as a kid. And even now as an adult, I don't really care to know what happened back then because there's no way for me to really know or remember. Um, one parent of mine would say, well, this parent did this that prevented my dad from being in my life. And one parent saying, um, that this happened. And it was too much for me to decipher like what side per se I wanted to be on. Um, but I, I remember my mom telling me when I was old enough to like have a phone and communicate with my dad that she wasn't going to be a part of any communications when it came to that because I was able to, know if I wanted to have a relationship with him. So it was definitely rocky the majority of my life when it came to my relationship with my dad. I remember my dad's side of the family always like asking him how I was, and I had other siblings by him that I never was really close with. Well, fast forward um, 15 years, um, I was abused by a relative for a little while. And my mom would always say to me, she wouldn't say to me that it was my fault, but I think being a single mom and not having the support that she needed and not knowing because she was going through the abuse herself, um, it put a lot on me and on my shoulders. So with going through the abuse, with not having a father figure, with kind of feeling alone, um, I made some pretty bad decisions in my life. And so um, I left for college when I graduated, and I came home just because I wasn't ready. I was not ready mentally. And when I came home, I met my daughter's dad, and within a month of being with him, I got pregnant. And we moved in together, but the relationship like so what oh thank you the relationship just kind of plummeted pretty fast, and I don't know if it was with the pressure of having the baby or don't unscrew it, do not unscrew it. I don't know if it was like the pressure of having um a baby or whatever the case was, but it always seemed like for him, he wasn't completely in. Like he wasn't completely motivated. Like there were times where, like for instance, he just didn't feel like going to work anymore, so he quit. And I can't say why, but we always were living a broke lifestyle. And so I lost my home. Um, I was so we got an apartment. Sorry, I'm trying to find more people to share this with. Um, we got an apartment September of 2017. I was pregnant and I was due in a month. And in that September, we paid September and October's rent. And once I had my daughter, I couldn't work. I was still healing, and my job messed up something where I told them I needed to go on leave to have my daughter, and instead they took me out of the whole entire payroll system. So I wasn't even an employee at my job anymore. I was relying on my daughter's father to help support and be there. And for the people that are on, if you can just share my video so that way I'll be able to share my story. But I I relied on him to help support, and it just, the support wasn't there. There was a lot of like adultery that was going on in the relationship. There was a lot of arguments, and just it was very toxic to the point where I lost myself. I didn't love myself the way that I should have. Here. Do you want to read a book? Do you want to read a book? So I was in like this dark fog. I remember like just hating my life. When I gave birth to my daughter, I was in such a dark spot that my doctors were afraid that I was like gonna not gonna harm my baby, but because of the amount of stress that my body was in, they were afraid that it was harming my baby, and ended up inducing me 2 days before her due date. Um, I After having my daughter, I just remember telling myself, I cannot allow myself to not love myself the way that I should. When I have a little girl that's dependent upon me, how is she going to be able to look at me as her mom and learn and love herself, and demand the respect that she deserves, especially from men, and be so headstrong and just know her self-worth if her mom doesn't even have that. So um we lost our home in February. We couldn't pay the rent. We were so far behind. We lost our home and got evicted. I became homeless. Now my daughter's father went to South Carolina, um, and stayed with his family there. Um, I stayed with my mom, but there was just too many disagreements. Um, and she just wanted her house to be the way that her house was and put me out. So I became homeless. I was in a homeless shelter for a few weeks, and I was looking for jobs, but the area that I was in, it was so expensive, and the pay for jobs was nowhere close to what would be able to cover living expenses. Excuse me. So I begged my grandmother to let me stay with her so that way I could get back on track. And here I was looking for jobs out here, and it's an elderly community. They actually call this community the Purple Heart town or community or whatever the case was, because there's so many veterans and there's so many elderly people here that there's not a lot of establishments. There's not a lot of big companies. Like I could work. Take your book. I could work at Publix, or I could work, like places like that. But there was no way in the world that I was gonna be able to make enough to support myself out here. The minimum wage out here is $8.50, and pretty much every company is paying that much. So I'm like busting my butt trying to work. I'm busting my butt trying to figure out things for her. She had never been in daycare before. So it was this huge separation anxiety problem. More like this huge separation anxiety problem that I had with her. She would scream and not eat for days in daycare, resulting in her being kicked out. And like there were I couldn't afford the daycare because daycare is like $800 to $1,000 a month. and I couldn't afford rent. What makes, like I couldn't pay that on top of rent either. So I was working and I was working and I was working, but I was so backed up on debt that I couldn't even put money aside for the future. I couldn't even put money into things that I needed then, because I had to pay off all the debt that I had. I had to pay off the eviction because I wasn't having help with that. I had to pay off credit cards that I didn't have help with. I had to pay off all daycare bills when she was, when I was working and at a daycare and I had her with me. I still had to pay for her spot there. Like, I was so far behind on everything. My license was suspended because I couldn't pay court fees. Like, literally everything that could have held me back was holding me back. And so, there were small things that I was able to pay off, like my court fees, which was $280, and I was able to pay, I was able to pay, like car payments and stuff like that. My car was crap. I had a family friend who worked in the finance department at Nissan at the time, a couple years back in 2016, and he was able to get me a 2007 Nissan Versa same day that I walked in. I never even established credit before. He was able to get me it. I had a pretty fair interest rate, but the problem was the car literally crapped bed within the same year. And so I wrote a letter to my bank begging them to help me get a safer car for my daughter and I, so that I could work or go to school or whatever the case was. I begged them to be able to get a better car. And the bank picked out the car, but the problem was I had $5,000 in negative equity that I could not pay off. $5,000 in negative equity on top of a $22,000 car loan. So if as soon as I drove my car off the lot, it already depreciated about $5,000 within 10 months now. To have an additional $5,000, I was $10,000 in the hole on this car. I was paying over $600 a month for a car that I should have been paying close to like $300. And so that put myself in even more debt. And at that time I was so blind. I never had like any type of financial counseling to know. And I was just so desperate to have a working car to be able to, drive 30-40 minutes north to get a better job or whatever the case was. At the time, Genesis was sick all the time. So this is what I was going through. I put myself in even bigger debt, even more debt, to thinking that I was gonna have more security. And I ended up losing my job. And I didn't think like, okay, I could potentially lose my job. I don't have anything in savings to help me. So I was right back at square one. I had so much debt racked up on my car. On top of the negative equity loan, the attached loan that they put on that, I was still paying off other stuff. I had nothing. And people kept telling me, like, you're not making smart decisions. Even though you think you are, you're thinking in the moment. You're thinking now. What you need to do is you need to look ahead. You need to look at your future. And so that's what I did. And I had been watching Kelsey. I ended up friends with her. I don't even know how. And I had just watched her and I had saw how much she had grown and networked and loved the work that she did. And I had nothing. I wasn't even working. I took $50. And to me, that's a lot. That's a pack of diapers and a pack of wipes. And maybe, something on the side. Like, that was a lot of money to me. And mind you, I'm biting my nails giving her this money because I'm like, what if I need it? What if I have nothing left? I gave her the last $50 I had, and I said, help me. Help me. So with all of that, with the $10,000 in negative equity on my car, with losing my job, with having literally nothing, facing homelessness, everything that I had been through, I just had to like leave it up to God at this point. And I said, this is my last resort. This is my last resort. I have nothing left. So if I have nothing left, I'm gonna do the one thing. I'm gonna put in something to get more in return. And that's literally what I did. I gave her my last $50 and I'm already promoting. My business is growing, it's booming. And I'm not gonna say I did it myself. My team is amazing. Daily, we're in different group chats helping each other. We're signing on new people every day. I had a customer when we had the rap BOGO going on. I was constantly talking about the BOGO, and you want a Bubba? Okay, I have to go get you a new one because that one's from earlier today. Let me go get you a new one. I forgot what I was saying. But that's what I was saying. I had a customer. I kept talking about the BOGO, constantly talking about the BOGO because I knew that was one of our main things, that our wraps are one of our biggest items that we sell. And so I was constantly talking about it. I ordered my own, and I was talking about my results. I did a wrap. I showed the results. I talked about it. And I had one customer buy $230 worth of products. $230 worth of products because of how much I was promoting and talking and showing my results. And I am beyond proud. I'm averaging $500 a month by just my first month. $500 a month in my first month. I'm already looking at promoting and making $1,200 a month in additional money. Here you go. Say thank you. Good girl. Can I wipe your nose? Hold on, let me wipe your nose so you're not eating your boogers. An additional $500. Can I add to this post? You don't want any more? I just did all that for no reason. So by my first month, my first 30 days, I am already averaging $500. That $500 has been paying my way to school. It's been paying my school fees. It's been paying for her her daycare fees, her diapers, her wipes. It has paid things that I have needed now. It has paid my filing fee for my divorce. It has helped me just in the 1 month that I've had it. And now I'm already on my way to making $1,200 a month and promoting in just 2 months. Like, I can't stress enough how amazing this company is and how even more amazing my team is, because they were able to help me be successful in this and still continuing. My friend Kelsey just promoted and averages, I should say, $11,000 a month. $11,000 a month. I don't even know how much that is. Hold on. 11,000 a month. That's 132,000 a year. And she promoted to double diamond in 1 year. It took her 1 year to get $11,000 a month, and she doesn't have to work another day in her life. Her kids are set for it. You know, like dreams can happen. You can get out of the situation that you're in if you just put forth. It's gonna be scary to give up that $50 if you need it. I was a single mom experiencing abuse from the time I was 13 years old. I went through hell and back. I was homeless. I lost my car. I lost everything. I didn't have a dime to my name. But I took the $50 that I had gotten, and I put it in Kelsey's hands, and I said, help me get to where I have to be for her. I did it for her, for Genesis, because I knew that I had to be a better mom. I knew that I had to provide because I wasn't going to have anybody else help me. Now, my goal isn't to, hit triple diamond and make 13,000 a month and quit work. That's not my goal at all. My goal is to do work and have this money. So I don't even have to have a single care in the world. I could have my retirement fee. I could have her college fund. I could have it all. And I don't have to worry about anything. I don't want her worrying about anything. That's my goal. And I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna work the program. I'm gonna do what I have to do. And I'm telling people this because I know that there are people that are interested in and see what I'm doing. And I want you to know that it's not gonna. You can't have my paper and pen because you draw on my blanket. No. Do you want your Bubba? I know that there are people watching me, and I know that there are people that are interested, and I know that they're worried about stop it. No. And I know that people are worried about the money that's going to come from it, but I'm telling you, it was one of the best decisions that I made, coming from dirt broke with nothing that I had, and I'm already averaging $500 in just 1 month, and I'm well on my way to promoting to make $1,200 a month. Like, I had nothing. There were times that I had to sleep in my car. I'm not gonna lie. There were times I had to sleep in my car. I was in a shelter in the middle of nowhere with her, crying my eyes out at night because I felt like I had failed as a mother. I'm not gonna fail. There was no way I could let myself fail. So I spent the last $50 that I had, and I put it in God's hands. I put it in Kelsey's hands. I did what I had to do. I worked the program, and I'm doing fast promotions. I just signed on a new DT, and she already has her 2 customers. Like, and the good thing about the company is they gift you. They gift you for doing good. If you sign on 4 customers, they gift you money to buy products. Like, it's not like you're just working for them. No, they give you incentive. They want you to be successful. They want more distributors and more customers. Like, it's not like you just sign on, you give your money, and that's that, and you're left, alone. No, you have a whole team of women, sometimes men. You have a whole team of women pushing you to be a better you. If it wasn't for Kelsey, if it wasn't for Holly, if it wasn't for these girls on my team, I would not be where I am. I would not be out of the situations that I was in. To not have anything to be able to say, okay, I can go buy this without even thinking about it. I want to be like Kelsey, making 11,000 a month and not even have to worry about the bank account. That's my goal, and I'm gonna get there. I know for a fact I am, because of the drive that I have, and my girls on my team are motivating me, and they're pushing me. She's motivating me, Genesis. She's motivating me and pushing me to be a better person, a better mom. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have made it stop. I probably wouldn't have made the decision, but it was the best decision I ever made. So I know that there are people on my Facebook right now that are not in that are in financial hardship. I know that there are people on my Facebook now that aren't content with where they are, or they're tired of working 12-hour shifts and doing overtime and all this stuff. Like, you can work from your phone at home, making more money than you could ever working your desk job, or whatever the case is. Like, my goal, I'm still gonna work. I'm in school because I'm gonna do what I love doing. Do I love working? It works. Yes. Stop. Do I love working? It works. Yes, I do. I am so driven to do it. My girls motivate me, but I feel like my life has more purpose. So while I'm helping people to be their best selves, I'm also gonna be healing people. And working It Works has helped me pave the way to that, because I wouldn't have been able to buy my stethoscope or my uniforms, or even pay for gas to get there, because the school is 35, 40 minutes away. Can you stop, please? um so if you're watching me, if you are thinking about it, message me. Even if you're not 100% sure, message me. Just talk to me about it. Let me answer your questions that you have, because I'm telling you, it was the best decision. And a lot of you guys know the place that I was in. I was in a dark place. So let me help you. Let me answer your questions. Um, what I love about the company, another thing that I love about the company, I should say, is we got paid 3 days early. And I know some people are really relying on their paychecks, every 2 weeks or whatever the case is. We got paid early. And that's sometimes a typical thing. So even if it's an extra $100 or an extra $500, that's still something, and that's something for people with kids. So I'm gonna go because I have to put her to bed. But I'm telling you, this decision was the best decision that I ever made. And I really want people to see that. I want to share my story. I want people to know that um what's it called? See, my kid made me lose my train of thought. I just want people to know that they're not alone. Anything that you can think of, I've probably been through it. And I used my story to get me where I am. And I'm becoming successful. I'm happy. I'm motivated. There so many people tell me I love this new Shia, and I love it too. There is nothing that I want that I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna get it. I'm motivated to do so. I learned to love myself more than I think anybody else could love me, and I'm determined to teach my daughter that same love. I will not settle for less than what I deserve. And me making $11,000 a month is exactly what I deserve. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna put in my work. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys are interested at all, please message me. Don't hesitate to do so, because I'm telling you, this was the best decision that I ever made. So I hope you guys enjoy your night. Please, 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 if you can, just share my video. I want to spread this. I want to spread my story to other people, because I know that there are lots of people that are in the same predicament that I am, that could really use a pick me up, or a friend at the very least, just some sort of boost of confidence and motivation. So please share my video. And I'm gonna go.